In this video, we'll teach you how to play Breeze like the pros. Breeze, Valorant's personal paradise and many solo queue players' worst AWPing nightmare. A map created to change the game, straying away from narrow corridors and instead opting for long ranges and wide open bomb sites. A perfect place for non-claustrophobic gamers. What's going on, ProGuides family? It's your host Sergeant Frost today, giving you guys an in-depth breakdown of Breeze and how pros are making Breeze their oasis. Now, Breeze is a unique map because of how spacious mid and the bomb sites are, so choosing the correct agents to enable your team is extremely important. Also, the unique mechanic of the hall's doorway and trash chute impacts the way A side is defended greatly. So if you don't want to be on the receiving end of a stomp, make sure to like and subscribe, and make sure to watch till the end too. Also, make sure to visit us at ProGuides.com, where our Radiant and Immortal level coaches are more than happy to give you individualized advice on how to improve at top speeds and reach the rank of your dreams. The link is in the description, and let's get started. Breeze was created to bring a new type of long-range gunplay experience to Valorant due to its design. This is why it strays so far from other maps' layouts, with rotations taking extremely long and sites being so open. Breeze has such an open layout, it's one of the few maps in Valorant where defending can be more challenging than attacking. Most agents have trouble holding down such a large site with multiple attack points. You can only achieve these powerful attack rounds by taking advantage of Breeze's unique mid and A layout. Breeze's mid is so open, it can be extremely challenging for the defending team to not only hold their site, but also keep an eye on mid as well. Taking advantage of this fact is a must on Breeze, and you will see many pro teams always keeping some pressure around mid. A halls is extremely unique to Breeze in that it serves a way for the attacking team to pressure A site without spending a large amount of util to gain that space. While at the same time, the chute allows for fast rotations to mid, B, or mid back to A depending on the team's decisions. Since long range is Breeze's specialty, weapons like the AWP and the Marshal see insane playtime on both attacking and defending on this map. These weapons also heavily influence the meta agents, since those who can AWP the safest can take over the game. Before discussing how to master Breeze, let's first go over the question of the day. Today's question is, do you like bigger maps or smaller maps? Personally, I'm a fan of smaller maps. Some of my favorite maps in the game currently are Ascent, Split, and Bind. These maps are easier to defend on, they favor Sentinels a little bit more, and you can get into quicker, more consistent gunfights on them. So that's why they're my favorite. And maybe because Killjoy's ultimate covers a very big portion of the map as well, but let's not talk about that. Let us know what your answer is in the comment section down below. Now, let's get right back into the video. Since Breeze has such an interesting layout, there have been a consistent 5 agents dominating the map in pro play as of this video. Those agents being Jett, Sova, Viper, Chamber, and KO. This team comp was run by 100 Thieves, Sentinels, and DZ with an only slight variation in the Sentinel role, where Sentinels ran Cypher instead of Chamber. Cypher is an understandable pick since his camera and his trips are extremely useful in tracking the vast amount of area Breeze has. However, most pro teams value Chamber more on Breeze since he can keep tabs on areas of the map with his trips, and he's able to cover more ground on site with his TP, and lastly, his ultimate is top tier at locking down those long range angles. Let's look at why these agents top their class when it comes to playing Breeze. Jett has been the meta duelist on Breeze since the map was first released. Not only is her kit perfect for entering on the wide open and spacious sites with her smoke dash combo, Jett is one of the only agents in the game that can take full advantage of the AWP's potential. Her dash allows her to take forward positions and quickly retreat after taking her first shot. Breeze has some of the longest ranges in all of Valorant, so it makes sense for the AWP queen to take the top duelist spot on Breeze. Not to mention, Jett's ultimate is perfectly accurate at all ranges and it isn't affected by aim spread. Meaning, at longer ranges, Jett's ultimate will not only be able to outmaneuver players with a Vandal, but she will be way more accurate. Her updrafts are the perfect tool to take advantage of the many vertical positions on Breeze that most agents can't play from. The Sentinel class has been up for debate in Breeze since the agents are tasked with locking down the biggest bomb sites in the game. At the end of the day, Chamber and Cypher seem to outclass the other Sentinels since they have the utility that keeps an eye on positions, without tasking them to be on standby at their location. Examples being their trips to hold flanks, choke points, and Cypher cams that can see a wide area of the map. Chamber is the widely more popular agent since his ultimate is essentially a better operator and highly valued on Breeze. Along with this, his TP makes it so that Chamber can cover more ground than any other agent. Since Breeze is such a vast map, many teams take advantage of Viper as a sort of Sentinel controller hybrid since Viper plays like a Sentinel on defense. Her utility holds down a site flawlessly, and Viper loves when enemies are pushing into her utility. Viper has been controlling Breeze with an iron fist, and it's easy to understand why when you look at her kit. Her wall is perfect for attacking and or retaking bomb sites since instead of just being a spear of cover, it can extend the entire length of the bomb sites. Viper's flexibility is highly valued by high-level teams since the wall doubles as a deterrent for attackers to push a bomb site and cover for defenders on the retake. For example, you can see 100 Thieves using Viper's wall to stop enemies from pushing out onto site, while doubling as a smoke to stop attackers from playing post plant and B main. Her orb and mollies are perfect for holding down A or B main if you opt to save your wall for retake, and her ultimate is the perfect tool to establish almost impenetrable bomb sites. Keyword is almost. This is where the initiators get to shine, and no two agents hold this role down like Sova and KO. Sova's dart and drone combination are the perfect tools for clearing out the only places where defenders can stay posted. Since the sites are so vast, defenders can only play a few positions safely like backside B, or behind the pyramids or orange box on A. Sova's ultimate and shock darts are definitely harder to master on Breeze, but that can come in clutch for getting the initial pick on site and combo with Viper's util to annihilate enemies playing in the back site. KO is the final pick in this meta comp because of his ability to shut down the agents who rely on their utility to keep tabs on this massive map. If KO is able to suppress an agent like Chamber, Cypher, or Viper, the bomb site becomes 10 times easier to execute on for his team. On attack, KO can use his suppression to deny Viper's wall, removing her team's safe entry onto site. His flashes are perfect not only for setting himself up to make a play, but his teammates as well. Breeze has so many open and outdoor areas where flashing high up will cause enemies to almost never see the KO flashes coming. His ultimate is icing on the cake for what makes him an S tier pick since it has such a massive area of effect perfect for Breeze. KO players single-handedly turn Breeze into a straight-up aim duel map for the enemy team and can often be picked up after going down if they don't extend. Now that we visited each role and covered their specific strengths and picks, let's talk about the bomb sites and how to correctly play the map. Both bomb sites have their typical main entrances in order for the attackers to stage a good execute, and in order for that to happen, there needs to be some sort of pressure applied on mid. Understanding this concept of mid pressure is key to success on Breeze, since it's by far the hardest part of the map to contest as a defender. Many pro teams including Hunter Thieves will opt to just keep the main site entrances tripped or be held down by utility while the majority of the team plays mid. The reason for this is because retaking the site when you know the enemies can only play from one entrance is much easier than trying to defend a push on site from all angles. Mid on Breeze connects to every portion of the map, so if you allow for the enemy team to take control of these areas, the map will quickly feel one-sided. Most pro teams opt to keep the Sentinel on A site when trying to defend on site. Chamber is most often played on A since his ability to play multiple positions with his TP is vital when trying to cover all that ground. Chamber either plays the site alone or he can opt to have a Jet help with defending A main. 100 Thieves in this example has their Chamber trip A main and play in Hall so he can retain control of A site's Achilles heel while his teammates watch for the mid split. As you can see, almost all of the defense on A side is done through mid by defending teams' initiators. Since Sova and KO are capable of gathering so much information, they are able to direct the team to what site needs more attention based on what they discover, while simultaneously allowing the players on site to only have to focus on one entrance. Retaking A site is easy once you understand what each player is supposed to do in order to limit the attacker's options. You want your initiators KO and Sova to use their utility to clear out and detect enemies playing either behind the pyramid or in cubby outside of A main. If there are players playing up in these positions, this is a perfect time to take advantage of Viper Molly, Sova Shocks, or KO Molly to clear them out relatively safely. Now, this is where defending mid is important since it allows your team to focus on A main more effectively. You want to make sure you either have Viper's Wall, Smoke Orb, or Ultimate for the retake. This way, your team can tap the bomb without the enemies in A main knowing if you're sticking the full defuse or not. After the smoke is down for retake, you want to tap the bomb and force your attackers into you, since they will have to push through Viper's utility and put themselves at a disadvantage. If the attackers are spamming the bomb through the smoke, you want to tap the bomb and quickly move off of it so they are forced to hard check it. Defending B is extremely similar to defending A in terms of most of its defenders will be playing around the mid area. Most teams favor the Viper playing B site since her orb and mollies are perfect utility for stopping any kind of aggression in B main. You want to play back site where you're extremely hard to dislodge and can cover from all angles. Your job on site is to try and delay so your players holding mid can rotate and help you while your A players pick up mid. If Viper's ultimate is available, it's perfect to drop it in B main to kill an attempt at B site takes, allowing your team to stack A or mid. Playing back site and around the half wall are amazing positions to hold down since they are difficult for attackers to clear. Just be sure to be on the lookout for Sova and KO utility that will try to reveal your location. When trying to retake the B site, the number one factor to take into account is where the bomb is planted. B site is extremely open and bomb plants can be held from main, mid, backside, and even CT. To have the best possible chances for a retake, you want to be sure your Viper stays alive so that she can use her wall to block vision of B main. Once B main is blocked off, you then want your Sova and KO to time their signature abilities together to clear the back site. Once enemies are detected, Molly and Shock Dart combos are extremely effective for pushing enemies off the point. The most important thing to remember when retaking the B site is the synergy of utility. Since if you KO knife one side of the site but don't dart the other, the enemies can move between the utility and dodge out on being spotted. Attacking on Breeze is one of the easier maps in the whole of Valorant to attack on if done correctly. First and foremost, no matter what site you set your sight on, flank is extremely vulnerable on Breeze, so always be sure to make sure you know where your enemies could possibly flank from and what areas are tripped before you begin a take. The most crucial part of staging an attack on Breeze is applying pressure through mid and A halls. Even though the bomb sites are large, your team can still be held up in the entrances by utility. In order to avoid this, you want to keep defenders worried about all positions. This is also important because once a site is taken and your team is playing post plant, being able to hold the bomb from various sides of the point increases your chances of winning the round considerably. When trying to take A, you want to apply pressure to either mid doors or A halls at all times. The reason for this is some defenders need to focus on these areas instead of being able to focus on A main. Use Sova and KO's dart to clear back site and close cubby. Once your team is in position, you want your Sova to drone out before your duelist enters. Make sure the Viper wall is down before the drone enters the site. The reason for this is so it doesn't have its vision blocked. This way you get max value from the drone. Relay to your team what angles are clear and enemies tagged will be forced off site since there's a lack of cover. You want to plant the bomb in front of A main so your team has safe positions to play the plant. Post plant A mainly revolves around playing the bomb from A main. You want to talk to your team about what utility you can use on the enemies who tap the spike. A perfect example could be if your Viper KO has mollies to use them to delay and force the defenders off the bomb. The bomb is a powerful tool since it basically reveals an enemy's location whenever they try and defuse. While in the post-plant phase of this round, this is where your mid and halls pressure can truly shine. You want these players to play their lives and look for good timings on the defenders rotating to the bomb site. Breeze is a map where saving abilities for a post-plant is the most optimal instead of using them to gain more space than you need. Since the site is so open, the defenders will have an easier time taking the site than defusing the bomb. The key to attacking the B bomb site is to not rush and execute through utility you can avoid. Many teams will have their Vipers set up on B site since her abilities are so powerful there. If your goal is to take the B site, make sure you are not playing into her hands by pushing that utility. Use KO's knife and Sova's drone to locate and suppress the Viper. Without her utility, the B site is a free site. You want to use Viper's wall to divide the point from mid. It's important to make sure the wall goes through the half wall towards the back of the site. This makes it so that there's less area for defenders to push through the Viper wall to retake. Jet can then take space on middle pillar with a smoke dash combo as her team follows her lead. Make sure the elbow is tripped so you are not destroyed by a fast flanking defender after the take is completed. Controlling B main is extremely vital to the post-plant phase of the round. The way you want to play post-plant on Breeze is again by playing for the bomb and not taking fights alone. If you get the bomb plan to default, you want to play sort of a crossfire between B main and the player's back site. However, if you can get the bomb planted down from mid and B main, you can have a player play the post-plant from mid. This makes defusing the bomb a nightmare for defenders if the mid lurk player can stay alive long enough. You don't want to push the mid position too quickly or else their pressure will be wasted. The bomb is out in the open. Take advantage of this fact by playing with your teammates off of the defender's defuse attempts. Here you can see how Sentinels play their post plant with only 3 members on the actual point, while they have 2 players chilling in B main holding the cross. Breeze as a map is all about aim and playing around the bomb. Hopefully this breakdown of how some of the best teams in the world play Breeze turns this map into free RR for you and your teammates. This has been your host Sergeant Frost, and I'll see you all again in the next video.